So the point of having this Ustream was to talk about flying while fat. I get a lot of messages all the time from folks asking me, you know, how is it that you can fly first, which is kind of rude, honestly, because it's like, like if I had a problem with flying, I'm sure I would be transparent about it, but like I fly a lot, and for people to be like, how is it that you're able to fly, is like kind of fat phobic, and I wish like people wouldn't ask me that. Some people are more appropriate and just more considerate and ask me, what are the problems and or like difficulties I may have while flying, because that's the reality. Like there have been difficulties, but it's not at all that I can't fly at all. And that's my privilege as being a smaller fat person, despite obviously still being like a very fat person. I'm still able to fit into a traditional airport airplane chair. Um, so uh, so anyways, I think the question I get asked most is like, do you fit in the chair? And 9 times out of 10, it's like I fit, but it's not comfortable. I've had probably 2 experiences where the seat was comfortable, and that was because I was in first class. Like, in first class, a fat nigga could live. You know what I mean? A fat nigga could live. Granted, I would say that like I'm always hovering between like a size 22, 24. Sometimes I've flown at a size 26, and I did, as I said, it was uncomfortable. But I would say that like at that time my weight was anywhere between like 350 and like 365. So I would say like at like my heaviest weight of 365, I was still able to fly, but it was definitely uncomfortable. And in certain situations where I did fit, I was luckily like in the back of the plane. Like that's another thing. Like I'm I'm always, or I'm sometimes able to pick the back of the plane. That's also part of it. The back of the plane is typically the roomiest part of the plane, or rather, like you'll have a seat that's like just like in the back, and typically people don't want to sit in the back of the plane. Like most people try not to sit in the back, and I'll get like a random flight, so it'll happen that like maybe my first flight like from Boston to Atlanta is like crowded as fuck, but then my flight from like New Orleans, I mean, excuse me, my flight from Atlanta, despite what depending on what time of year it is, will be like less crowded. But usually I'm able to, usually I have enough time in advance for my flight to pick the back row, which is typically the most comfortable place to be, because typically like I don't have someone sitting right next to me. Usually it'll be that like if there's 3 seats and I get one, and then someone has the seat maybe next to me but they move to the end, or they have the end seat, which is bomb. But then there have been situations where people were sitting next to me. Like one situation in particular that comes to mind, um, there was an older woman sitting next to me, and she was reading a book, and she put her book like on her tray, and then like took a nap. And when this woman was like handing me my tea, I dead ass spilled my fucking tea on her book, and she was just dead asleep. So I like freaked out, and I like used like just some fabric I had in my bag. I think it was a shirt, and I was just like mopping up like the tea on like her shit, and there was a person sitting next to her, so it was like really fucking awkward, honestly, because that person was like watching everything happen. They were like not trying to snitch on me, but I was like, what the fuck? And like I don't feel like that was like super. I don't know. I feel like I'm a bigger person in this space. I'm sitting next to this woman. I'm like trying to get my drink, and like I'm trying to like get my drink, and like leaning over her. It just wasn't a good situation for me. So when I spilled that drink on that woman's books, I felt fucking terrible. But she didn't wake up, and that was awesome because I was like really scared about it. But I had also spilled tea on my it was tea, and I spilled tea on my fucking white pants, and it made me so mad because like I was like looking so sickening, and like my pants, like I had like these white pants on, they were like ombre, they were like dip dyed, they looked so sickening, and then bitch, dead ass, some fucking tea killed it, like killed the whole fucking vibe. But anyways, I'm getting back to it. Most of the time, like if I'm like I have if I'm sitting next to somebody on the plane and it's not someone that I'm like together with, like not part of my life, it's usually just very uncomfortable, you know, because I'm really trying to like not be crowding this person. But if it's someone that I care about, usually I can just relax. But like the pain, the physical pain of like trying to shift all your fat to like one side to like not bother someone is just like a lot. And like to be doing that for like an hour, 2 hours, any amount of time, that's like a lot of trauma to the body that like people are not clocking. And like that's like part of living in a fat phobic society, is like all of this trauma in our bodies, because like we constantly are trying to minimize ourselves when we can't. Like we physically cannot minimize ourselves in an instant. But I feel like fat folks get like these like waves of like trauma in their bodies from like trying to like assimilate their bodies, trying to thin their bodies, trying to lengthen and like, you know, just make themselves seem leaner, just because other folks are like looking at their fat body that's gonna stay fat. Like there's literally nothing you can do in those moments, but like fat folks be trying to do something, like be trying to, you know. And I found so much therapy and like not giving a fuck, like taking up the space and being like, this, I deserve to take up this space. I am this big, I need this much space, and that's okay. And like that's been like something that's not easy, obviously, to be trying to implicate, because folks do hate, but you know, it's important. It's important. Hold on. Sorry, let me get into the first class, bitch. Sometimes first class is cheap. Sometimes first class is cheap. Please don't shame me. Please don't shame me. Sometimes first class is cheap. I had a first class seat that cost like $200, but I didn't pay for it. It was a partner of mine like wanted to see me like on like Christmas, and like wanted to spend the $216 to fly me first class, and like I appreciated it. But there was another time where I got an upgrade that wasn't like especially like first class, but it was like right behind first class, but it had the same seats, and it was so comfy, and we were like right behind the curtain of first class, so we were like not in first class, but it was like something like it. But I'm noticing that like to be fat like and be comfortable, you have to pay to upgrade your seat, or pay some exorbitant fee to be comfortable, to be accommodated by a fucking company. You know what I mean? Like how disgusting, like how shameful. You know what I mean? Like I'm paying you, bitch. I'm paying you to use your project. You know how many products, you know how many fat folks there are trying to fly and like that are scared to. It's like these companies are fucking like vicious. And I feel like if there were any companies out there that were like at any point in time like just like caring and concerning themselves with fat folks, like that would be a business. But you see they're running a business on numbers in terms of how many folks they can fit in a plane, so they're trying to fit as many folks as possible. So if it means that your fat ass got to pay some extra money, then that's what the fucking tea is gonna be. Oh, T908. Oh, child, let me tell you, first class ain't shit. When I went, I was not even trying to be a hater. I was trying to care. I was trying to care because my boo-boo bought it for me, so I was trying to give a shit. I'm sorry. Like, I felt kind of insecure about flying first class because, like, I'm a broke nigga. Like, so, like, for me to get first class, like, I was kind of, like, hype about it, and I thought it was going to be, like, extra. But, bitch, like, it was really just, like, I mean, granted, it was Delta. You know, I wasn't flying no nice-ass American Airlines, you know. Maybe it would have been different, but Delta sure didn't give a fuck about me. Delta had me like, first of all, when I got there, I could tell who was first class, bitch. Like, cause let me tell you, first class people be trying it, they be acting up. Like, cause I knew I was first class, and I came in there and I dressed kind of cute to be in first class. I was like kind of excited. I was like, oh, I'm gonna look sickening in first class. So then when I get there, you know, I got there early as fuck too. Unfortunately, I was trying to get there as late as possible, but nigga, I got there on motherfucking time, like way on time. Like I was like trying to like space out my time in New Orleans because it was a nice day too. It was like kind of beautiful outside, but you know. So anyway, so I get to the fucking airport, and you know, I go to go wait in line, and I see like this dude who has his hair like perfectly done, has like this like H&M ass express men fucking outfit. Like this nigga had on a fucking leather jacket just because, a rucksack. Like he literally looked like a picture of Tumblr. Like I was just like, Tumblr, get your people. Cause like this nigga was just out here just living his little Tumblr life. And I could tell somewhere, like somebody was like, oh, that's hashtag whoever the fuck that person was. But anyways, so he was like acting like, he was like looking at all the people and just like, and then like when he saw first class, he was like, and then he like walked over there, and then he was like, excuse me, I'm first class, like just telling everybody. And then there was like this black lady who like rolled up, and she like had on like an all white suit, all white boots with white fur with a little bit of like brown on the fur, and then like a little bit of brown on the fur of their jacket, and then they had on a white hat with a little bit of brown on the fur of the hat, and had on like and then like had on a vest with just like brown and cream, and it was sickening. But then had on and then had on like mad nice bracelets, and then there was like this little ass, like the smallest baggage I've ever seen in my life. Like literally the shit was like the size of a MacBook. Like it was like 13 inches of luggage on the longest motherfucking handle with little white motherfucking little wheels. And homie was just little, like homie was short, like homie was real small, and was just like adorable, and just like rolled up to the gate and was like, I'm first class. I was like, you are, bitch, you are. You know what I mean? But everybody had their first class swag. Like everybody that was in first class, you could tell though everybody that was in first class was in first class for the first motherfucking time, because everybody was like, you know, trying to act like they wasn't too phased, because everybody that was waiting for just to get on the fucking plane was looking extra vexed. So when they seen us over here shining and our line was little, like our line was like 4 heads, they was just like shading, because they knew we was getting on first. So I was feeling me when I went on there, but then I seen everybody else looking fabulous. Everybody else looked more fabulous than me. I'm not even gonna fucking play it, okay? I was looking basic. I was basic cute, you know what I mean? I was looking like brunch, you know what I mean? All these other niggas was looking like expensive steak salmon dinners, okay? I was over here, I was giving y'all Miss Honey, you know what I mean? And they was over here giving you Miss Exotic Vacation, abroad, at large, go ahead, mama, ow, 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 ow. Okay, like they was hitting it. They was hitting all the beats. But so anyway, so we get onto the fucking plane, and I get in there, and they got these little stale ass little pillows and these stale ass little blankets, and I'm sitting here like, did you watch people at the, I tried not to look people in the eye as they went to coach. I tried to like, I just got on my computer. Cause bitch, you could do that in first class. Everywhere else I ever been, don't pull out your laptop or no shit until we flying and they say it's okay. But in first class, bitch, niggas had iPads out. Niggas had MacBooks out. Niggas was like, I got work to do. I am not in the office. I was like, okay. And so I sat next to this white lady who was mad annoying, and we didn't talk not motherfucking once, and I was just like, word, I like that shit. I don't like when my neighbors be trying to talk to me, because one time, let me tell you, one of my worst flying experiences was when I flew to New Orleans this last time. I had an older white lady talk to me, and like, honestly, like, part of it was dope, but then part of it was just like really annoying. Like, I wanted her to stop talking. I was on a flight with her for like 2.5 hours, bitch. Boston to Atlanta, and I hated that shit. I hated that shit. Like, part of it made me sad because it was just like, damn, it made me think about my mom, because she was talking about how her kids just like dipped on her and just treated her like bad. But it's like, I really didn't treat my mom bad. Like, I internalized too much shit from that lady. But we also had a conversation about trans folks and stuff. And I feel like, I feel like I opened up her mind a little bit, but I still feel like, she's gonna still be who the fuck she is. And that's that. You know what I mean? But she told me too much. I know her whole fucking life. I gotta carry this white lady's story with me. Like, I'm hating it. You know what I mean? I'm just like, damn, why did she rob me? Why did she rob me of my time? What up, Jellin from my melon? What up, Jordan Ford? 507. What up, Cocoa Butter Queen? How y'all doing? But yeah, so everybody that was in first class was acting up, and they were asking us what the dinner was. They were trying to tell us it was either a turkey sandwich or they said a Mexican salad. And I knew that the Mexican salad was gonna be nasty, but I just wanted to see what kind of fuck shit they was calling a Mexican salad. And let me tell you, I really wish I would have just got that fucking sandwich, because when I seen the people next to me with their sandwiches, I was getting kind of sad, because I was like, damn, like I know my shit is about to be fucking nastiness, because I know these white people don't know shit about a fucking Mexican salad. And sure enough, you know what I mean? The chicken breast was cold as shit. I was like, wow, wow. You know, I was like, how you gonna give me cold chicken breasts? You know? And then they gave me like what I seen, it looked like a bunch of beans and shit. And then I seen when I was biting into it, it was just like long ass strips of fucking avocado, like out of nowhere. And it tasted like very strange in my mouth. It just didn't taste right. And you know, I ate a lot of it. I'm not gonna lie, I ate a lot of it because I was starving. But I was really sad about it. And then they gave me a cookie, but bitch, tell me why. Tell me why. They gave me a cookie and I wasn't gonna eat it because I thought it looked nasty. It was like maple raisin cookie. I was like, all the flavors I hate. I was like maple and raisin. I don't even hate maple and raisin, but I'm just like maple raisin cookie. Like, never. Why don't people understand? Everybody wants a chocolate chip cookie. Like, everybody. Nobody wants a maple raisin. And I'm sorry for all y'all that like maple raisin. Yes, this was first class. This was first class. I'm telling you, first class ain't shit, bitch, on Delta. Like, who cares? Don't even get it. Um, but uh let me tell you, I fucking had that cookie and I put it in my bag, but then it was sitting on top of my bag, and the next thing you know, the plane gonna just do whatever the fuck it did, and then my cookie fell and slid backwards, and then my phone fell and slid backwards, but people only found my phone. People only found my phone. So I'm just like, what's up? I'm like, damn, you know, and it's fucking me up. I'm like, damn, like these people just, you know, just taking people's cookies and shit from first class, you know, because I was the last person in first class. Somebody in coach ate my cookie. They did. So, you know, that's another part of flying while fat. You know, guard your food because broke niggas in coach. I'm playing. But really, though, they only found my fucking phone and it really bugged me out. Um, that shit was mad grimy. I was just like, how y'all only find my phone? And I got this little bootleg phone, but they took that fucking cookie. And I was mad because I was like, you know, after I ate that nasty ass Mexican salad, I was like, or that wasn't even no Mexican salad. Let me not even attack that fake salad. Um, yes, I always get the window seat when I fly, even though sometimes it annoys me because like when you flying at night and shit and the sun is going down, it's just like a glare and shit. It's annoying as fuck. But sometimes, you know, sometimes. But I no, I usually just get it usually just because like I want to see some shit. You know what I mean? I'm a broke nigga. I want to see the earth. You know what I mean? I want to see the earth, nigga. Let me see the earth. You know, and sometimes I get like wild like when I'm like flying because I'll be like, where the fuck are we? Like I was saying, like I need the new invention 2014. It needs to be a motherfucking program on the windows of the plane so that when you look, it could just tell you like you're flying over Zazaza. You know what I mean? So you know where the fuck you at. Cause sometimes we be flying over shit and I'm like, I wonder what route we took. You know what I mean? I don't know. Like, did we fly on the coast? Are we keeping it inland? You know what I mean? I want to know, nigga. And the pilot don't tell you shit. Honestly, I really want to meet the pilot one time. Next time I fucking fly, I'm gonna be like, I want to get my wings. Let me get a pen. I feel like they do that for folks, you know, who don't be flying like that. But let me see. Trying to think of other things that I experienced with flying while fat. I think also like one time, like deadass, I almost missed my flight once because I was just not hustling. Like I went to McDonald's 'cause I was so hungry because I like didn't eat before I got into the terminal, and by the time I ate, you know, and was walking to the fucking gate, I noticed that nobody was at my gate. And I was walking the wrong way. And then I had to run the other opposite way. And they were calling it too. They were like, Flight 28 to Atlanta. And I was just like, ah, you know, I was bugging. Like, and when I was running, they were still talking. Like, they could see me. I was the only person, and they were like, "Flight 28 is about to leave." And I was just like, "Okay, but nigga, you see me though." Like, you could tell niggas stop the shit. You know what I mean? So then I was like running like hella hard, and like honestly, I wasn't like ready to run. Like, that's the other thing. Like, I didn't stretch beforehand, so my run was kind of like sloppy. I was just like, like I didn't even care. I didn't even care about the run because I was like, nigga, like either it's gonna go or it's not. You know what I mean? At that point, when I was doing my run, I was like, nigga, you could tell. I'm not running really, and if you let the plane go, you know it's gonna be me angry because now I just ran, and I ran on a full belly of McDonald's. That shit was so wild in retrospect. My stomach is hurting again just from like the historical trauma that my stomach fucking endured. But gelling for my melon, I am 5'11". Um, yeah. So, what is the other thing that well, I was gonna say? No, I was gonna tell another tale. I'm gonna tell another tale flying. I want to say that also like flying while fat. Like I think like I always get kind of like mad anxiety in the line to uh aliotrope flying while 300 pounds and a baby in your lap and somebody wants to recline. Wowzers. Yeah, people are wilding. I never recline in my seat. I just feel like that's mad rude. Like we're in coach, you know? Know your role, you know what I mean? Stop trying to infringe on nigga shit. It sucks, but like let's chill, you know what I mean? I recline if I'm the last nigga on the plane, but there ain't really nothing to recline, to be real. There's really nothing to recline, so I just like gotta tilt my back, you know what I mean? I tilt my back. Um, what was I gonna say? Um, I get like super anxious when I'm trying to like put my things in the bins for security because I always feel like, you know, I always just feel like I gotta go, I gotta go, I gotta go. And I feel like people just get really like shitty. Like you never know when it's gonna happen because you don't know these people. You know, you don't fly with the right people. You don't fly with the same folks every time you fly. So it's a new set of motherfuckers. So you never know who's gonna be acting a fool. So I always try to like I grab like 4 bins usually. Like I grab 1 bin for my computer, 1 bin for my shoes. Like it's like my computer, my bag, my shoes. This last time I didn't bring my computer just because I didn't want to do another fucking bin. I just packed. Is that true? No, I did bring my. Yeah, I did bring my computer. Um, what was I gonna say? I do my computer, my purse, and I do my jacket usually in 1 bin. Then I do my shoes. Um, and usually that's it. Like usually that's all I have. And then maybe the shit in my pockets. But I remember one time I put like my fucking photo ID in the bin, and they were just like, "No, don't do that." And it's like I been did that. Um, oh man, I don't even play with the armrest. Like I be like this, and I be sitting in this shit with my shit folded. You feel me? Um, what else? But yeah, but when I get my shit in those bins and I start going towards the fucking thing, then I start getting shook because I remember one time I put on some lotion before I went through the scanner, like the body scanner, and they dead ass like stopped me, patted me down, and then took a fucking special wand and like fucking swabbed my hands and like checked it, and then we're just like, oh, like you're clear. And I'm like, that wasn't fucking weird. You know what I mean? That didn't freak me the fuck out. You know, you taking cells, why the fuck? You know what I mean? I'm just like, what are y'all doing? I'm like, I hate y'all. Like that's the shit though. That's America. They got niggas just swabbing people's hands. You know what I mean? And it's like, was it the lotion that set you off? And even if it was, bitch, it's coconut oil. It's from the earth. You know what I mean? What the fuck? Like, zam. Um, you know, but when I go through the full body scanner, I always just feel like extremely like self-conscious because like sometimes I think like one time it was more so because like I have like super hairy armpits and like I'm not like my hairy armpits are bad, but I'll be like you know, I'm like, damn, like I don't know, like so I guess like that's my own thing, like that's my own like I guess like self objectification, like being like, oh, people are gonna see my hairy armpits, and it really depends, like if it's like summer or not, in the airport, but I remember like that was something that kind of like made me go, I don't know, um, But okay, somebody wrote, "Can we talk about the shade flight attendants give if you ask for the seatbelt extender?" I have asked for the seatbelt extender. Sometimes I didn't. I used to not. I used to just be like, whatever. Like if my seatbelt didn't fit, I used to just not give a fuck, honestly. But sometimes, um, I do care, but I think more now, I just do it to like practice like confidently talking about my fatness. You know what I mean? Like, I think like needing a seatbelt extender is obvious. It's because like you're fat, and or rather like you're big, and like the things do not fit on you who is a big person. Like that's just the reality of it. And I mean like fuck the seatbelt for not being big enough, but like that's the reality of the fucking seatbelt. It's just not big enough. In some cases, like I have fit a seatbelt. In first class, I certainly did not. In first class, I asked for a seatbelt extender, and it was not a problem. I've never gotten shade for it, to be real. Um, but like I don't know. Usually, like I wait until I'm seated, and then I just ask for it. I mean, like I realize that like not for everybody, it's not gonna be the same, you know. But I feel like I used to not ask for it just because I didn't want to be embarrassed. But now I feel like really good about asking for it because it's like who knows, maybe the seatbelt will save my life. Probably not if the shit go down, but like maybe, you know what I mean. So when when I get the seatbelt extender, I'll put it on and that's that. I've never really had anybody like I really never felt like shaded like so far. Um, where's some wood that I can knock upon? Because I really just have not had any have had any beef with anybody about that thus far, which has been good. Um, let me see. I love getting free drinks on the plane. I think that's one of my perks of flying while fat is like mad drinks. That's awesome. But I will know. I remember when I started flying, they would give me hella peanuts, but now like they just don't even do peanuts anymore. Like literally, like you do not get any food like unless you're in first class, which is nasty food. So do you really want the airlines giving you food? Probably not. So pack your own shit, I guess. But like honestly, I remember like in one instance there was someone who brought their own food on the plane and it was actually like very pungent. And I was just like, it was just like a lot of onion, it was like a lot of onion spice. And I love onion, but it was just like real heavy on the plane. And it's one of those things where like you can't just air out the plane, you know what I mean? You gotta really wait a couple hours to be free of the smell. So it kind of sucks. Um, but I don't know. Let me see. Um, let me see. I think that it's just interesting that like over the years, like seats in airlines have gotten smaller, despite like you know, despite like these overwhelming and often like very propaganda esque obesity epidemics. You know what I mean? Like you think that like if they're saying there's mad fat people, you think that they'd be like, oh yeah, mad fat people. Like let's make a fat person plane. Let's make a plane that accommodates all sizes of people. Let's make seats that are maybe like different sizes. To accommodate different folks. Some folks need smaller seats. Some folks need bigger seats. I think that like it would make most sense to make a wide variety of seats that would like not only stop alienating a large majority of folk, but also allow other folks to, take up less fucking space because they don't fucking need it. So that's important. You're scared of drinking too much. I remember one time I got wasted on the plane and I just fucking chilled. But I was awfully chatty and like, one thing I hate is like white dudes on fucking airplanes, like white cis dude fucking stewardesses, stewards, whatever the fuck. These niggas, they're usually gross as fuck. I've never flown overseas. I think like the only time I've ever left the country was going to the Virgin Islands. Actually, yeah, no, I didn't fly over. I didn't fly overseas to get there. I just like flew to Florida, and then we just got on a boat. So that, and then also I went to Canada, but I drove because it's like super close. Um, but yeah, like I think like there was somebody who was trying to figure out like if I've flown internationally or that they wanted to fly internationally. And I feel like if you want to fly internationally, I obviously don't know what it's like to go through. um like the process of like flying internationally. I don't even know what like international, I don't know if like international planes are different. Um I don't know. I know that like the last plane I flew, or rather when I flew from Atlanta to Manchester, I flew Air France, which is really interesting. But like the seats were like kind of whack. Um, Word. I am recording Tori Love. T908. I do agree that the money that you pay for a airplane ride, like it should cover a seatbelt extender. But I think like if I feel like why even make them? You know, like why not just make the fucking seatbelt like long as fuck? You know what I mean? Like damn, I just don't get it. Um, and what part did I go to? I went when I went to the Virgin Islands. I went to Saint Martin, and we also went to Saint hmm because like there was one like we were supposed to go to the Bahamas. We were supposed to go to the Bahamas, and then we were supposed to go to Saint Martin, and then we were supposed to go somewhere else, but we never got to go there because there was like a no. We got to go to two different islands, but I'm like struggling to remember the names of the second one. But I'm dead. But it was a dope time. I really enjoyed it. How long was my longest flight? Oh fuck, my flight to fucking Cali, yo. My flight back from Cali, like any going to California was like the longest fucking. It wasn't St. Croix. Maybe it was St. Croix. Mm, I'm sorry. I feel like an asshole because I can't remember, but it was a little while ago. But yeah, my flight was like flying to Cali. I've never slept super comfortably on a plane, but I've totally like gotten some Z's, but like I would never fully sleep because I usually just like get so anxious because I want to look out the window. I think flying from Cali to excuse me for flying from Boston to Cali was kind of cool. Because it was just like beautiful like surroundings. Like the middle of America was just really sad looking. I remember like being like, God damn, you know, like, I hate to say that, but like, I mean, I'm not trying to shit on it because like I've been to Colorado recently and like Colorado's nice, but like other shit, it looked just kind of barren, and just sad. Um, Damn, three fatties in a row. Son, that's real. I mean, honestly, I would prefer to sit next to a smaller person just because then I would have more room. But like I feel like smaller people preferring to sit like not next to fat people is real too. But I think like when I think about like sitting like places like with my little brother who's like mad thin, and it would just be the most comfortable for me because like he was so little, I would be able to usurp all of his area, and that would be bomb. And I didn't even give a fuck, and like he didn't give a fuck either. Like he literally didn't even need all that space. And I feel like that's part of thin privilege. You know, when you have someone who understands that like you don't get enough seat, you know, like and they're willing to give it to you, and that's real. My brother is like real down with fat folks, and I fuck with him for that. You know, he's a really thin person, and he understands like the world is cruel, you know, and fucked up, and like he does have privilege, and that's real. But as I said, like I think being a fat person, flying obviously it's not easy. Obviously it's not fucking fun. It's very nerve wracking. I think like one time, I think when I found out people were paying for two seats is when I started getting scared because I wasn't sure what happened. Like I just had worst case scenario that like as soon as like I get on the plane and I sit down, somebody is just like, I'm not sitting next to this person because I'm uncomfortable, and therefore this person needs to buy another seat. Like that's literally what I thought the scenario would be, just because I've heard of other fat folks accounts of like what's happened to them on planes, and like just people just being downright nasty to them. And I feel like, you know, in some ways like because I'm taller, I feel like I do have some privilege while still being like fat because You know, I very rarely get called out for being fat. I think like it's one of those things that like when you I think like some fatties who are like more, I suppose, like quote unquote acceptably fat, or rather like small on the smaller end of fat, which is not even true. I'm not even on the smaller end of fat, but I feel like um people especially like will not like call me out as much, or will not you know and will not yeah, see, yeah, the white man did just got on Why Did I Get Married? Yes, that's what I'm saying. But like I've never had a situation like that, but I think that like I think like that's a real fear, you know? See, Tori Love, and I have a friend right now who like has who has a partner that's international, that like they've like literally like decided like they are not gonna fly because like they know first of all how expensive it would be just to buy one seat, but to have to pay for two seats to fly to fucking Spain from fucking California. Like, dude, you know what I mean? Like, that would be so expensive. It's already expensive just to buy one seat these days. So when like you're telling folks that like they need to buy two seats, fuck. So like, I mean, I understand that I have privilege in some ways because I don't need to buy two seats. But like there are folks that have that reality, and I think that like I think when people see me and they see that I'm like a visibly fat person, they're like, okay, like I'm gonna ask her these questions. So I think sometimes maybe I'm being like kind of sensitive when people ask me things, but I think I have a right to be sensitive because like that's normal, you know. Like I live in a fat phobic society, so I'm not gonna be able to like discern whether or not you're fucking with me or not all the time. I feel bad because like sometimes I do pop off on the wrong folks. But I think when folks ask me about flying, you know, I think I originally was like annoyed by it, but that's a real question. You know, I am a fat person and I do have difficulty, you know, with again, like with fucking buckling the seatbelt. Obviously, I have to ask for somebody. So I think somebody might be just being like, you know, how do you feel when you ask somebody, you know, for a seatbelt extender? Or like, how does it feel to feel like discomfort like in an airplane, like because like you're not gonna just be on an airplane for a minute, you know, it's not a little 5 minute ride, you're gonna be there for a while uncomfortable. And I think that's what I was saying earlier when I said like the physical trauma of like being somewhere where like you're in a fat phobic situation where like folks do not want you to like be comfortable, where your comfort is like not a priority. It's like really fucked up. um yeah, angel farting, you want to go see your girlfriend in Texas and you're coming from Canada. You know, I want to say like obviously like this wouldn't be ideal, but I would like I guess I wouldn't tell nobody to fucking never mind. I was gonna be like you should take a bus adventure, but I mean like some folks are just not into bus adventures. I really like bus adventures. I wasn't trying to be shady, but some folks are just like bitch, don't be telling people to take no bus. But I really do enjoy taking buses. I'm not sure about an international bus, or even like a ride share situation perhaps, because I know a lot of folks drive down from Canada all the time. And I feel like that's one alternative. Obviously, it's not the shit because like obviously if you want to fly, you want to fly. But I will say that like ride shares can come in handy in these situations. But it is fucked up to like be trying to figure out like will you have accommodations. Um, but I will say like yeah, or train. Yeah, bus adventure, dude. Like honestly, me and my friend, we got like really wasted and we took a bus ride to fucking Virginia. Like it was kind of wild. Like it was pretty fun, honestly. Like we were not like acting a fool, but like we got like tipsy as fuck and we were just riding the fucking bus. Like that's just what the fuck it was. You know, stop and get snacks every couple hours, you know what I mean? And just living the life. I've never ridden on the train. Um I've never taken like a long train excursion. Um but I think I don't know. I'd rather take a bus than a train. I just feel like trains scare me more than a bus does. I feel like a bus is on like a road for real, for real. Like a train, who knows where it's taking you? I don't know. I feel like that might be irrational, but that's really how I feel. um, mer- Yikes. So angel farting. You were saying that you were having fat phobic experiences on trains. if you would like to share some of those. But getting back to being fat and while flying, um, I think also like bathroom usage. I have never used the bathroom on the plane. It's just not something that I give a fuck about. I typically try to piss before I go anywhere. Even when I went to California, I held my piss and I did not piss until I got off the plane, and it was like so refreshing, but it was just like terrible because I had to pee so bad. But again, I didn't want to have to ask my neighbor to get up. I didn't want to fucking like cause a disturbance, and I think more importantly, I just don't care to go pee. Like I just don't care to go pee. So it wasn't really bothering me, but I think that in some cases where I haven't used the bathroom, it was just because I didn't want to be like, fat lady standing up walking around the fucking plane. Um, and um, Angel Farting says I had to take the train from my city to my school city, and most of the time it's cool because I'm fat and people don't want to sit next to me. Um, but when they do, they make a big deal of it and act like I'm taking up all this space. Yeah, no, I feel you. Like, I mean, I don't know. Like, I think like there's nothing wrong again, like with owning space. And especially like there's nothing wrong with being like, excuse me, I need to use the bathroom. But I think like sometimes I feel like there are times where I feel like I've learned to kind of cope, or rather be okay with, you know, not asking someone to do something so that I could do something. That doesn't make it right, and it doesn't make it okay, but I think that that's a reality of being fat, is like, sometimes like not at all fucking saying things. Um, it's true. People are very upfront about their hatred for fat folks. And I don't know, I think also the thing is, I think as much as like, I think the thing is when you sit on a bus or a train, like you realize that folks don't want to sit next to you because like you're a fat person, or like they want to sit next to you last. But on a plane, like people can't really do anything unless like they're like a privileged fuck who's like gonna like straight up call you out. So like that's the thing that really sucks. um so, but I do prefer sitting by myself. Every time I've ever sat on the plane by myself, it was like really great and I enjoyed myself. And I didn't hate it. And every time I've had to sit next to someone, there was usually some fuck shit. Like I remember the last time I sat next to like this older white lady, and like she was just like mad that like I had the window seat. Like she was sitting in my seat and then I had to ask her to move, and then she was like mad about it. And I was like, fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Like I just was like, well, you don't have this. She was like, I usually have the window seat, and I was like, not today. And like that's all I knew how to say. And yeah, also I feel like the bathroom in the airplane is fucking so little. It's like not even worth it to me. It's just like, nah. I don't care. You know what I mean? Like I don't care enough. It's like hard enough for me. Like especially like, a bathroom in the airport disgusts me. There, and that's pretty big. You know what I mean? So not having enough space. You know what I mean? And I'm a bigger person. Like I need to like get in there and wipe my booty, wipe myself. You know what I mean? If I don't have the proper, like wingspan, it's not gonna be cool for me. I'm not gonna feel like I really wiped myself. Like I'm gonna have that weird feeling. So it's just not for me. But it's been a real talking to you guys. It's 42 minutes now, and I'm gonna upload this video, and hopefully some folks out there feel pumped about flying. Or maybe like we can have another discussion, because I think people want to bring it out into talking about places where fat discrimination is like abundant. So if you want, like tomorrow night, if anybody's interested, we can have a conversation about fat phobia in spaces, in transportation, food places, all that good stuff. So if you guys are interested in that, just like this video, leave a comment saying yes, you want to do that, and then we'll come up with a time frame and then we'll meet up. Okay? So thank you guys so much for being here. I appreciate you, and we'll talk soon. like assimilate their bodies, trying to thin their bodies, trying to lengthen and like, you know, just make themselves seem leaner. Just because other folks are like looking at their fat body that's gonna stay fat. Like there's literally nothing you can do in those moments, but like fat folks be trying to do something, like be trying to, you know, and I found so much therapy and like not giving a fuck, like taking up the space and being like, this, I deserve to take up this space. I am this big, I need this much space, and that's okay. And like that's been like something that's not easy, obviously, to be trying to implicate because folks do hate, but you know, it's important. It's important. Hold on. Sorry, let me get into the first class, bitch. Sometimes first class is cheap. Sometimes first class is cheap. Please don't shame me. Please don't shame me. Sometimes first class is cheap. I had a first class seat that cost like $200, but I didn't pay for it. It was a partner of mine like wanted to see me like on like Christmas and like wanted to spend the $216 to fly me first class, and like I appreciated it, but there was another time where I got an upgrade that wasn't like especially like first class, but it was like right behind first class, but it had the same seats, and it was so comfy, and we were like right behind the curtain of first class, so we were like not in first class, but it was like something like it. But I'm noticing she didn't wake up, and that was awesome because I was like really scared about it. But I had also spilled tea on my, like, it was tea, and I spilled tea on my fucking white pants, and it made me so mad because, like, I was, like, looking so sickening, and, like, my pants, like, I had, like, these white pants on, they were, like, ombre, they were, like, dip-dyed, they looked so sickening, and then, bitch, dead ass, some fucking tea killed it, like, killed the whole fucking vibe. But anyways, I'm getting back to it. Most of the time, like, if I'm like, I have, if I'm sitting next to somebody on the plane and it's not someone that I'm like together with, like not part of my life, it's usually just very uncomfortable. You know, because I'm really trying to like not be crowding this person. But if it's someone that I care about, usually I can just relax. But like the pain, the physical pain of like trying to shift your all your fat to like one side to like not bother someone is just like a lot. And like to be doing that for like an hour, 2 hours, any amount of time, that's like a lot of trauma to the body that like people are not clocking. And like that's like part of living in a fat phobic society, is like all of this trauma in our bodies, because like we constantly are trying to minimize ourselves when we can't. Like we physically cannot minimize ourselves in an instant. But I feel like fat folks get like these like these like waves of like trauma in their bodies from like trying to so the point of having this Ustream was to talk about flying while fat. I get a lot of messages all the time from folks asking me, you know, how is it that you can fly first, which is kind of rude, honestly, because it's like, you know, like if I had a problem with flying, I'm sure I would be transparent about it, but like I fly a lot, and for people to be like, how is it that you're able to fly, is like kind of fat phobic, and I wish like people wouldn't ask me that. Some people are more appropriate and just more considerate and ask me, you know, what are the problems and or like difficulties I may have while flying, because that's the reality. Like there have been difficulties, but it's not at all that I can't fly at all. And that's my privilege as being a smaller fat person, despite obviously still being like a very fat person. I'm still able to, you know, fit into a traditional airplane chair. Um, so, uh, so anyways, I think the question I get asked most is like, do you fit in the chair? And 9 times out of 10, it's like I fit, but it's not comfortable. I've had probably 2 experiences where the seat was comfortable, and that was because I was in first class. Like, in first class, a fat nigga could live. You know what I mean? A fat nigga could live. To pick the back row, which is typically the most comfortable place to be, because typically like I don't have someone sitting right next to me. Usually it'll be that like there's 3 seats and I get one, and then someone has the seat maybe next to me, but they move to the end, or they have the end seat, which is bomb. But then there have been situations where people were sitting next to me. Like one situation in particular that comes to mind, there was an older woman sitting next to me, and she was reading a book, and she put her book like on her tray and then like took a nap. And when this woman was like handing me my tea, I dead ass spilled my fucking tea on her book. And she was just dead asleep. So I like freaked out and I like used like just some fabric I had in my bag. I think it was a shirt. And I was just like mopping up like the tea on like her shit. And there was a person sitting next to her. So it was like really fucking awkward, honestly, because that person was like watching everything happen. And they were like not trying to snitch on me, but I was like, what the fuck? And like I don't feel like that was like super, I don't know. I feel like I'm a bigger person in this space. I'm sitting next to this woman. I'm like trying to get my drink, and like I'm trying to like get my drink and like leaning over her. It just wasn't a good situation for me. So when I spilled that drink on that woman's books, I felt fucking terrible. But granted, I would say that like I'm always hovering between like a size 22, 24. Sometimes I've flown at a size 26, and I did, as I said, it was uncomfortable. But I would say that like at that time my weight was anywhere between like 350 and like 365. So I would say like at like my heaviest weight of 365, I was still able to fly, but it was definitely uncomfortable. And in certain situations where I did fit, I was luckily like in the back of the plane. Like that's another thing. Like I'm I'm always, or I'm sometimes able to pick the back of the plane. That's also part of it. The back of the plane is typically the roomiest part of the plane, or rather, like you'll have a seat that's like just like in the back, and typically people don't want to sit in the back of the plane. Like most people try not to sit in the back, and you know I'll get like a random flight, so it'll happen that like maybe my first flight like from Boston to Atlanta is like crowded as fuck, but then my flight from like New Orleans, I mean, excuse me, my flight from Atlanta, despite what time, depending on what time of year it is, will be like less crowded. But usually I'm able to, usually I have enough time in advance for my flight